Many of you felt bad for Mr. Freeze-Dried that I didn't pack him any sweet treats to go along with his freeze-dried MRE meals for his upcoming hunting trip. I'm correcting that today. I'm here at Walmart and I've got the perfect idea of something to try making for him that I've never done before, but I've got high hopes that it's gonna be so good. I literally only need 2 ingredients for this recipe, so I'm hoping it's super easy and delicious. I need some green Granny Smith apples, and then I'm gonna grab a bag of melting caramels. You could also do the type of caramels that you unwrap yourself. The fog is looking so pretty coming up off of the mountain right there. I'm not thrilled that it's kind of rainy, but it is really beautiful out. Also, I have an update on our buddy Gus the Moose, so stay tuned for a Gus update, and I've got some new photos. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my apples sliced up into thin slices, and as I slice them, I'm gonna put them in a bowl of water, and then I've got a few splashes of vinegar in here just to help hopefully prevent them from browning, and then we'll move on to our caramel step. I ended up slicing 5 apples. I think this will be plenty for my freeze dryer. So I'm gonna get these drained and dried. I am going to try to decorate the apples in the caramel on the trays so that I don't have to transfer like caramely apples from one tray to another. So I'm gonna set my apples back here and get a workstation here on my counter of my trays. When I freeze dry anything with candy or something very sticky, I like to use parchment paper. And I got parchment paper. The pre-cut slices are an absolute game changer. These are the ones from Crunchco, and it's really nice because they come in a lovely like cardboard packaging to keep it nice and organized. I used to get my parchment paper on Amazon, but Crunchco has them. I am loving all of their freeze drying supplies. I do have a 10% off discount code with them. I'll put it here on the screen, and you can find their link in my video description below. And now I'm just gonna try to organize my apples on the tray. I'm not doing caramel on both sides. I'm not like fully dipping these apples. I'm just gonna be drizzling the caramel across the top. I'm not making these for long-term storage. I am just making them for a treat for my husband to have on his camping trip and for us to snack on at home. So I'm not worried about long-term storage. I will still store these in, I'm thinking my candy bags with the like clear front on the windows, but we'll see how these turn out, if they even do turn out. I do have a few apples left over that didn't fit on the trays, but that's okay. I'm just gonna save these for my kids for an after-school snack. And now we're gonna figure out the caramel. My game plan is to melt these in the microwave. It says they are microwave safe, or you can melt them in a pan, but maybe I'll do a pan actually. I think I'm gonna melt them in a pan. I'm gonna do 2, I'm gonna start with just 1 bag, melt it, drizzle the caramel, and see if I need the other bag. I don't think I will, because these aren't gonna be super caramel heavy, but we will see. I've got my caramel melting here in the pan. My idea for getting the drizzle is to use a piping bag. I'm gonna just trim the end, and I'm gonna pour the caramel into here. This is just the easy way to get the caramel into the bag without hopefully making a huge mess, but we will see. Did I just spill? No, okay. I just have my heat on low, and it just says to continue stirring the entire time until it's fully melted. After it does melt, I'm gonna let it cool slightly before putting it into the plastic so we don't have any issues with that. But so far, it seems like this is melting fairly easily. We're fully melted. I don't know if this is a terrible idea, but we're just gonna go for it. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull out the bag. Just kind of twist the top. cut off the bottom. Wish me luck. Oh my gosh, I'm already dripping. Okay. Are you ready to see how these turned out? I mean, they could be prettier, but this was my first tray, not pretty. Second tray, I got a little better. Third tray, I think is probably my best. Fourth tray looks okay also, but here's how they're gonna go into the freeze dryer. Now, are these going to explode on me? I have no idea. So normal caramel candies that I freeze dry, one of my favorite freeze dried candies. That's why I thought to do this, because that just sounds so good. It gets puffed up, delicious, melt in your mouth caramel. So good. Is this gonna puff up? I'm thinking even if it does, it's not gonna be too big because of how thin the layers are. So we will see. If this turns out, it's gonna be amazing. If not, it was a fun experiment anyway. Let's get these down to my freeze dryer and I'll show you the settings because I am gonna do my settings a little bit different than normal. My freeze dryer is telling me that it's time to change my oil. I'm gonna do that after this run because I don't have time right now. So I'm gonna do my initial freeze at -10, extra freeze. I'm not gonna do an extra freeze this time. My dry temp is what I'm gonna do different. I'm gonna put this at 140 degrees. Candy is typically done at a higher temperature, like 140 to 150. So that's why I'm gonna raise the temp to 140 for my dry temp this time, since I've got caramel and I want that to have a chance to fully freeze dry. And now I'm just gonna hit start. While I'm waiting for this to come down in temperature, please know if you are in the market for a freeze dryer to preserve all of your wonderful summer's harvest that you have from your garden, check my video description below. I've got a link to Harvest Right down there. They are still offering free shipping, which is a huge savings, and the units are on sale. So check them out. Caramel apples, does that not just scream fall treats? And when you bring in the freeze dryer with it, I think it's gonna be so good. Here's your update on Gus the moose. I was driving in my car a couple of days ago and I saw Sweet Gus on the street behind me eating some branches out of someone's tree. Gus is alive and well. I am so happy about that. It seems like he's not going to be picked up by any rescue agencies. I'm guessing the consensus is that Gus hopefully is at an age where he can survive on his own. So we are hoping and praying for Sweet Gus. After I saw him up in that tree, I hadn't seen him at my house in a while, so I was glad to see him there. And then yesterday morning, when my kids were eating breakfast, we looked out the window and Gus was coming into our backyard saying hello to us. He laid down in our grass and just took a nap. He laid in our grass for like an hour and a half and it was just so cute. I wanted to just go out there and cuddle with him, but obviously that would be a no-no. So I've got some photos of Gus for you. I will show you here in just a minute after we get these into the freeze dryer, but they're so cute. Now we just hope that there are no caramel explosions in here because I really don't want to have to clean that. I need to knock on wood. I'll catch y'all tomorrow sometime and I'll let you know how long these took. I believe our machine is done. It has been going for 20 hours. It sensed that the apples were done around like the 13-hour mark, but I wanted to increase the dry time just to be sure that they were fully dried on the inside. But these look amazing, like literally everything I was dreaming of, and I can't wait to show you. Here's a little sneaky peek from the door of the freeze dryer, and I'm happy to say I don't see any explosions. All right, moment of truth. I couldn't have asked these to turn out any better. I am so thrilled. I mean, look at this. It is a perfect little caramel apple. It's sticking together. I was worried it might slip off the apple. It's not. It feels light as air. I cannot wait to try this. Well, I think I gotta be the first one to try this. Okay, ready. I'm just gonna put the whole thing in my mouth. That is so good. I'm obsessed. It tastes like, kind of like those caramel apple pops that you get, but in a more like light and airy way, because the apple is tart but not too sweet. The caramel is just like the right caramel flavor. You guys, okay, I gotta have another one. I'm amazed. I'm not the biggest fan of freeze-dried treats when it comes to like ice cream or pies, things like that, just because I don't love the texture of it once it's freeze-dried. But this is like two of my favorite things: freeze-dried fruit and freeze-dried caramels mixed together. This is so good. Now, my thoughts on how to package these up are, you're not technically supposed to use oxygen absorbers with freeze-dried candy because it can mess with the freshness of the candy, I guess. So I hear. But I also don't want the apples to get soggy in the Mylar bags. I'm thinking I'm just gonna package these in my candy bags with an oxygen absorber. Since it's not gonna be in the candy bags for that long, we're gonna eat these fast, I think it's gonna be fine. I might even be able to package them up without the absorber, and they might be okay. I don't know. What would you do? We'll see. If you have not done this before, I need you to put this on your list as the next thing you're going to put in your freeze dryer, because they're that good. And fall. It's fall. In Alaska, it's fall. I know a lot of other places it is still sunny and warm and not fall, but in Alaska, it's fall. And so it's been very rainy and wet. This is the perfect fall treat. I'm gonna start bagging these up. So I've got 5 bags here that my husband can take with him on his hunting trip, and he can share with his hunting buddies, which I'm sure they will be very grateful for. And then I threw my leftovers in this Mylar bag because I thought it would be fun to bring to my boys' gymnastics practice tonight, and they could share with their coaches and teammates, because I just got to share these with other people because they're so good. And I think I need to be making batch number 2 here pretty soon. I'm gonna just, I'm still debating on the oxygen absorbers. I think I'm gonna toss them in and hope for the best. And there we go. I've got my 5 bags of caramel apples for Nate to take on his trip, and the bag to share with our friends at gymnastics tonight. I'm so excited to have discovered a new amazing freeze-dried treat. I'm already thinking about making these for Christmas gifts for neighbors. In the past, I have given freeze-dried candy before, but this is just so unique, so tasty, and just so different, and still in the like fall wintertime vibes when all you want is a delicious caramel apple. So I think I should find some cute like red Mylar bags to package these in for Christmas with a cute little bow. That would be so much fun. Let me know if you got any questions. But this turned out so good. I'm so thrilled. Before I go, I wanted to acknowledge that this has been a very difficult week if you live in the United States of America. My heart has felt so heavy over the murder of Charlie Kirk that I have been just so sick to my stomach. And I feel so horribly for his wife and his kids. That should never have happened. Violence like that should never be the answer when you don't agree with somebody. Like, that just makes me sick to my stomach. I almost stopped filming my video this week because I had started it and then that happened, and I was just like, didn't want to put on a happy face to come out here and, you know, pretend like everything's okay. I tried my best, But I try to also be real with y'all, and I think a lot of you have felt the same feelings that I have felt this week, and I just hope we can come together and just hope and pray for better. But I'm not good with my words. That's all I'm going to say on that. I just wanted to acknowledge that that's something that and I'm sure many of you have been struggling with this week, and I see you, I feel you. But freeze drying and being here with you guys is also an outlet for me. I really love freeze drying and making videos. And so it's something that also can help, you know, keep my mind busy when I'm like spiraling. So anyway, thank you all for being here. I love you guys. I am so grateful for all of you who watch my videos. You really mean so much to me. And with that, remember, when you freeze dry today, you secure your tomorrow. Bye, friends.